Hi, this is Jeannie at Trendy, and today I'm working by myself. I'm afraid you'll be bored, but Carrie and David have gone to Memphis to take the kids to a basketball game tonight. So, I'm going to do a wreath, kind of a camo wreath. We have this cute ribbon, it's camo ribbon, it's got happy, happy, happy written on it, if you like Duck Dynasty. And we're going to use, this is just some chocolate brown plain mesh, no foil. It's the least expensive mesh that we have. And maybe this 10-inch plaid, which kind of has a camo look. And we have this orange. I think we'll have to have that for some extra color. This is a jute mesh, and it's 5 yards on this roll. And then we have these little camo ornaments, the little hats, and these duck calls ornaments. These are metal. And I also have this same paper mesh, this is paper, in a 4-inch roll. So invariably when we do a tutorial, we put our supplies out there and we'll run out. So if by chance you're trying to make the wreath and we're out of something, you could use the 4-inch and just do ribbon strips. Or I think what I'm going to do is a poof technique and then come back on top with this plaid ribbon. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to use a pencil wreath. Oh, I have this jute, this wired jute roping. We may use that, I'm not sure yet. So the first thing we're going to do is take our burlap pencil wreath. Now this wreath I've used several times. You know, we make things and then take it apart here, but that's why this wreath looks a little used. But it's good, and we're just going to use it, and we're going to go around it using the poof technique. To do the poof technique, we measure our poofs 14 inches. Now we've tried it with different measurements so that we would not have anything left at the end of our roll, and 14 inches just works better for us. So sometimes we'll have a yard or two of mesh left over. But the way to start is just to grasp the mesh about 3 inches from the end of the roll. Now I'm just going to let that roll fall down on the floor and get out of the way. And then just pick out any twist and secure that end of the mesh into the twist and just give it a couple of turns. No need to get it any tighter than that because you're going to come back and use some other things on top of that. Now I'm going to measure 14 inches. And then just grasp the mesh again and then go to the next twist and just open that up and just secure it with a couple of turns. You may want to put your hands under there and kind of poof that out, and then just keep measuring and working all the way around that wreath. We're working on the inner ring, and then we'll drop down to the outer ring. Now when you get back to your starting point, you can see this is the wreath where I started, and there is my tail. We're going to just tuck that to the inside. We're going to go ahead and create another poof and attach it in the same twist. Now we're going to undo that twist and lay that last poof in and then tighten it again. Close it again. Now that way you have a poof between each set of twists. Now, to go down to the next layer, we're going to just kind of pull our mesh kind of snug, and we're going to go down to the closest next tie. You can see that, which would be right there. And then we're just going to secure that. Then we're going to start measuring. And just work around that outer ring. Your wreath will look kind of thin right now, and you think, well, this is not going to look too good. But don't worry, because we're going to be adding in lots of other layers of product. Well, this will happen to you sometimes. When I went to close that twist, one of my twists broke off. So the way to do that is just, wrap it back around that frame and around the work wreath frame and just give it a couple of twists, and you can just go right on it. If you have to, if you have a missing twist, you can always just use a chenille stem. It won't show. Okay, now we are almost back to our starting place. So this is where I stopped. Now I have to make this last poof, and I'm going to attach it into this poof where I started. So I'm going to get my measurement, and then I'm going to open up this twist and attach it in there. So I'm just going to open that twist and make sure that my other poof stays secure. And then I'm going to attach this last poof. And then reclose the twist. And now I'm ready to cut my end off from my mesh. I'm going to cut it off, leaving a tail of about 4 or 5 inches. And looks like I might have had maybe 2 yards left of that. Now I'm going to take that tail and just tuck it to the inside of the wreath. It's easier to see if you turn it over to the back. Tuck it to the inside, and I'm going to just wind it through the rings of the work wreath, and then I'm going to find my beginning end. I'm going to put them together and just kind of wrap them up a little bit, and then I'm going to take a zip tie and just secure those loose ends to the wreath frame. And that'll just keep them from popping out at a place you don't want them to pop out. Okay? Now, we've gone all the way around it using the poof, so now is a good time to go back and look at it, see if they're about all the same, and fluff them out, make any adjustments that you need to. And now we're ready to do our next layer. For this next layer, I thought I would use this 9.5 inch or 10 inch wide paper mesh. Now it is paper, it's made of paper, so if I put this on this wreath, it's going to have to be in a pretty well protected area, away from any moisture. It won't take the wind and the rain. Paper mesh does ravel, it all ravels, whether it be poly mesh or paper mesh, but you know, you do have some raveling with paper mesh. And we're going to pretty much do it the same way using a poof technique, just like we did the mesh. I'm going to gather it up about 3 inches from the end, and I think I'm going to start on the inside, and I'm going to undo a twist. It doesn't matter where you start, but undo your twist and take it all the way down. Make sure that your mesh doesn't pop out, and then just lay that paper down. Twist it back a couple of times. Still, I'm only going to do a couple of turns because I have some more product that we're going to add in. And then I'm going to let that just poof up a little bit, and then I'm going to pinch it up and gather it. I'm not really measuring, I'm just kind of gathering to where it's laying nicely on top of the mesh, not too tight. And then I'm going to open up that next twist, secure the paper, about like that, and then I'm just going to keep working around the wreath. Okay, we've gone all the way around it, and when I got back to my starting point, I did it just like I did the poly mesh layer. I undid the twist, I secured the last poof of the paper, and I'm going to cut an end off now of about 4, 5, 6 inches. And I had probably less than a yard left of that. I may have made these poofs a little larger on the outside especially. Now I'm going to take that raw end and just tuck it to the inside. Flip the wreath over and find the raw end. I'm just going to twist that in. I'm going to wrap it around the rings of the work wreath and secure it with a zip tie. Okay, this technique really makes a large wreath. You can see how thick this is already. It's got a depth of a good 10, 11 inches. Just hang it up and take a look at it. See if you need to readjust any of your poofs or anything. Now, with all this brown, of course the green lightens it up a little bit, we need to add in some orange. So I think we're going to take this orange jute netting, and I think I'll try making just some loops, maybe connecting it from the inner ring to the lower ring, and just see how that works. Okay, so I took the jute mesh, the jute ribbon, and cut it in 24-inch lengths. I have 7 pieces out of that 5-yard roll. I have 7, so I'm going to attach it to the inner ring and then make it poof and then drop down to the outer ring. So since I've got 7, I can go in like every other twist around. I think that will be enough. And you attach it the same way. You undo your twist all the way down to that last layer, which will be your paper mesh. Secure that end. I'm going to make that little poof. The only difference we're doing here is this time we're working from inner to outer versus going all the way around. Well, I still have 3 pieces left, so I'm going to put 3 more. Okay, there's our wreath after we added our orange ribbon. And now we're going to go back and we're going to add the happy, happy, happy ribbon. It's got also a little more orange in it. I like this. It's got happy, happy, happy. To attach the happy, happy, happy ribbon, I'm cutting it in lengths. About 36-inch lengths, and just securing it into a twist with leaving, you know, like a 4, 5, 6-inch tail. There's no way that you can work it out to where you don't have to cut the happy in half or anything like that. So I was leaving kind of a longer tail on the ribbon so you could see the wording. And then I'm just going to attach that around the wreath. Now you do it the same way that you attach your other products. Take your twist undone, go all the way down, lay your ribbon down. And if your ribbon, this is my last layer. This time I'm going to give the twist 3 or 4 turns to secure it nice and snug. There's a wreath after we've got our happy, happy, happy ribbon. And if you'll notice, I have some of my happies upside down. So I worked on it, you know, flat around like this way. So you might want to hang it on the wall while you're putting your ribbons on. So next we have these duck calls. Now, of course, we live in Mississippi, so hunting is a big thing here. Deer hunting and duck hunting and bird hunting and so forth. Now, there's different kinds of camo. This is like military camo, and then there's tree camo that's more for hunting, I guess. This is what I have. So we've got these little hats, and we're going to put some of those on there, and then the duck calls. Well, they're not real duck calls, they're just duck call ornaments, but anyway, they're cute. They kind of have a rustic look, but they're made out of metal. Well, here's our wreath after we finished it. I used some of the little camouflage hats and ornaments, and they're just made out of plastic. You could just punch a hole through that and attach it with a zip tie. I put on some of the duck call ornaments and just used the burlap string that was on them. And then I did this little finishing touch with this bundle of branches from Raz, and just tied a knot around the branches with the ribbon, and I used the addition of this jute wire roping just to, you know, give it a little more texture. The wreath is probably about 32, 34 inches in width and height. And that's it. Here's our wreath. I hope you liked it. I like it. I think my husband will like it. Be sure and subscribe to our channel. And if you like our video, give us a thumbs up. It just helps in our ranking. So thanks for dropping by, and Karen will be with me next time, I promise. Bye.